loud. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're recording. Hi, those of you who are joining us in the future. There is no time, there is no space. So you are here with us in spirit, and we appreciate you as well. Hopefully this will actually record to somewhere I can send it. So that's the prayer for today. Tara is, this is a depiction of green Tara. There's actually 21 different, I think it's 21. Let me just double check my notes.
21.
Yeah, 21. Thanks, Brandy. 21 different colors of Tara that you can get, different aspects of her. In the Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Watterson, this is the green Tara, of course. We're gonna get to her later, right, Brandy?
Yeah.
So I just want to start by telling you about the Buddhist Tara. Okay, there's the Buddhist Tara and the Hindu Tara. The Buddhist Tara starts with a story about Avalokiteshvara. You may have heard of him. His name means the one who hears the cries of the world. And one day he decides to go climbing a mountain. I'm wondering how many of you are feeling like you're climbing a mountain right now? Yeah, right? You get him. So the mountain represents yeah, maybe you have a grappling hook. I don't know. But it represents your spine. It represents the journey. It represents the work you're doing on yourself. And if you're here right now, you're doing work on yourself. So congratulations, you are an aspect of Avalokiteshvara. So he climbs this mountain and he's climbing and he gets to the top finally. Like he gets to that what we perceive as a destination. And there's a stone wall at the top of the mountain, go figure, right? But if he steps over the stone wall, he will be free from what they call samsara, which is that endless wheel of reincarnation that keeps spitting us back out here on this planet to learn these lessons every single time. And so he's wanting to be free of that. He wants, in Buddhism, it's enlightenment. In Hinduism, it's liberation. He wants those things. And so he lifts one leg and he's going to be free from this endless trapeze cycle of being on this planet, and all of a sudden he hears all these cries at the bottom of the mountain, and they're the cries of his family, and they're the cries of his friends, and they're the cries of his village, and it's all suffering. And he has to make a decision to continue on for himself over the wall and get free, or does he turn back and help those in need? Well, luckily Avalokiteshvara, luckily for the rest of us, he decides to turn back. And then he has to descend. And what descending the mountain? So you can think of going up the mountain as ascension. Like I'm looking at Mary, because Mary, like you so get ascension. We all get ascension right now. I just say Mary because she writes about it a lot. This is going back down. So this is a descend. But what happens when you're descending is you're going within. So you're going really deep and low. So this is the like real journey. So he goes back down the mountain. And by the way, that's Pema Chodron who said that, like that going down the mountain is like that within journey. And so he takes a vow that if he can't help all those suffering, his head will explode. And unfortunately, there was so much suffering that and I'm sure you guys have felt like that this week or in the past weeks, he was looking around like, who do I help first? And how can I help all of these people? Like I looked at, like Brandy posted this interesting statistic of deaths in 2020 and what caused them. And what was so shocking is you might think, oh yeah, like totally it's going to be cancer or whatever. And unfortunately, starvation was the top one at over 2 million people dying of starvation. The bottom, 46,000 in the entire world was coronavirus, right? And it's like, you know, that's Avalokiteshvara, looking at the 2 million people starving, being a continent away and saying, I don't know how to help. So he gets so overwhelmed by being one person, it's that sort of David and Goliath thing, that his head actually explodes. So he's got pieces of himself all over the place, and he's trying to gather these pieces of his face and his head. And Buddha comes down, and Buddha starts helping him pick up the pieces of his head. And not only does he pick up the pieces, but he ends up creating 11 heads for Avalokiteshvara. And the 11 heads, like, if you see my crown chakra, like, tapestry, the 11 heads are like this flower at the back, and 1 out of 11 is fierce. The rest are compassionate. Okay. He gives him 1,000 arms to help people, which is such a gift. And then he cries. So Avalokiteshvara cries from these gifts been given to him, and out of his tears springs 2 Taras. And this is what happens when you face the darkness. This is what happens when you ask to be your own medicine. And what kind of compassion is cultivated deep within is that Tara, the goddess, brings forth to show you that you're not alone. And she's so immediate. Like, Tara is that goddess that is incredibly immediate. So all you have to say, and you want to write this down, there's one keyword. So if you're driving and you're feeling funky and something's happening, maybe a semi's coming down the wrong side of the road, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but one word and Tara will be here with you, and it's Tare. And she is that accessible. Tare, Tare, Tare. Write it down so you never forget it. You don't need a big ritual. You don't need to do so many, you know, yoga practices. Like, it doesn't matter if you just say Tare, she's here for you. The reason that is because this is the mudra we're going to be doing later, and I'll guide you into it later, but she basically has one palm on the ground and one palm facing up in the lap. That's her mudra. The palm facing up is holding the cries of the earth. The palm touching the ground, when she touches the ground, the earth opens up and millions of Taras pour out. And so when we do this mudra later, I want you to remember that your hand on the earth is like cracking it open, and all these atomic Taras, like they're tiny, you know, atomic sized Taras pour out of that crack in the earth to be there for you. She's like cellular. Like, I just keep getting the word cellular with Tara. So it's like asking yourself, what would you do if you had infinite ways to help people? If you had infinite resources, if you had infinite hands, you know, what would you do? What medicine would you want to give? And then give that medicine back to yourself first, always, right? So Tara becomes this first concept of asking for help. She, in the Buddhist tradition, always has her right foot forward. In the Reiki world, which Master Usui was Buddhist, right side of the body is the giving side. It's the masculine side. It's the side that takes action. And so Tara's right foot forward, to me, represents her always being willing to take action. But guess what you have to do, ladies? You have to ask for it. And sometimes we don't even know when we need help. Like, that's the problem, is like, we could be, you know, we're so strong and we got this. And then it's sometimes not until you're at that complete breaking point where you're like, oh shoot, like I need some energy medicine, or oh shoot, I need to call that friend and vent about this. So it's like, what do you have to do to get help and ask Tara for help before you get to that like blown up Avalokiteshvara head, you know? So maybe we can
isn't it?
What did you say, Brandy? That's the trick?
That's the trick, isn't it?
Well, and maybe it's that asking for help before we know we need it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you're feeling okay, you just go get a Reiki session anyway, or you meditate anyway, or you go for a walk with a friend anyway, or you go to the mountains anyway, you know, even if it's not like a desperate need. So she's just willing to run to you for help. So my suggestion is to ask her for help every single day. And I love Mary's tradition of waking up in the morning and saying, higher self, fill me. And you can just add on to that and say, ask for Tara's guidance this week, just with that simple Tare. Like wake up every morning and just Tare, 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 right? Just call on her, even if you don't know you need it. And see, let's experiment, all of us. Let's experiment on how different our days go. You know? Colette, I'm looking at you. Because I know you've experimented with oils and work and how different that is when you forget your white Angelica or whatever. I was like, let's see how work goes with Tara, you know? And Sarah, like you and I, let's see how parenting goes with Tara. And Brandy too. Like, let's see how parenting goes with Tara.
Although I got to admit right now, it is like so ridiculously calm in the house with like only Bella and Briley. It's like I mean, and Jess isn't an instigator at all, but there's just a shift in that, like.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy different.
Well, since you're thrown into homeschooling, call on Tara for that, because I know
there is that, yes.
Okay, so let's go into the Hindu Tara, shall we? Actually, before we get into Hindu, I think Green Tara, the one criticism I have of this deck is that they don't organize the contents very well at all. They're not alphabetical. You have to like search for their names, like. So hopefully in later versions she may change that. Okay, 113. All right. Okay, I love this story. Oh, maybe it is because she calls it the Tara Tantra, so I'm assuming this is the Hindu Tara. So
actually, never mind, go ahead.
Yeah, she incarnated as the king's daughter, and she showed such spiritual excellence and such profound compassion that she impressed a group of monks. So they told her that they would pray for her to be reborn a man so she could reach enlightenment. She responded by enlightening them. And she told them that there's no such thing as male and female. The ideas, projections, and expectations that we superimpose onto the male form and the female form are not real, and they're contrived. So form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. So Tara vowed then and there before all monks that she would remain a female Buddha for all lifetimes. So it is the Buddhist version, until all beings were liberated from the illusion that a person's sex determines their ability to become enlightened. Now, we all know how fluid gender is right now, and probably always has been, but it's at least acknowledged as being fluid now. So if you needed a hint that Tara is on this planet right now, there's part of it, right? So let's get into the Hindu Tara. She's a little more fierce, as we know from our lovely Hindu goddesses. They are such badasses. They're renegades. I adore the heck out of Hindu myths. And so there's this story about Vashista. So Vashista he was a good yogi. Okay, like he did all the austerities, he did all the meditating, he worked really, really hard, he did all the right things, he didn't smoke, he didn't drink, he stayed away from all of that, like good yogi. He probably was even vegan, I'm assuming. So he did this for 10,000 years. Have you felt like this, you guys? Like he did this for 10,000 years and it still wasn't working. Like everything, he did everything they told him to do and it still wasn't working. So he's ticked off and he goes to Brahma, who's one of the gods in the Holy Trinity in Hinduism. And Brahma is, I believe, I always get Brahma and Vishnu mixed up as who's the creator and who's the maintainer. I think actually Brahma might be the maintainer, Brandy. Anyway, yeah, because Vishnu churns the ocean and primordial stuff and like, okay, so let's go Vishnu, creator, Brahma is the maintainer, and then Shiva, of course, the destroyer. So anyway, he goes to Brahma, probably the maintainer, and says, it's not working. Like I've done this for 10,000 years and I'm so frustrated. And so Brahma laughs at him, of course, and tells him to go to Tara. And Tara says to chant her mantras for 1,000 years. And he does, and it's still not working. So Tara says, you've been doing it all wrong and you don't understand women, which is hilarious. This is why I love Hindu mythology. And so, fine. So Vashista goes to Tibet and he has a vision. And in his vision, the Buddha comes in. And the Buddha's drunk and he's partying and there's naked women at this party. And Buddha's like, come on, Vashista, like, come hang out with us. And Vashista pushes back and he's like, no, like, I'm a good yogi. Like, I drink green smoothies. I do not drink alcohol, okay? And he's like, it's not for me. Like, I'm not going to partake in all your craziness. And the Buddha says, sorry, man, but this is the way to Tara. And you have to accept all things. And so that's the beauty of Tara, is it's that completely non-judgmental space. And it's that we have to go into the dark places in ourselves and stop playing by the rules sometimes to figure out who we really are. And I think all of us, have you not been down those dark paths before? I have. It's kind of fun at the time, you know, like a little bit destructive, but like kind of fun. But it makes you like who you are, you know? And so Vashista finally agrees to do this. And the Buddha teaches him about the 5 forbidden things, which is, and I'm missing the 5th one. I forgot to look it up, Brandy. Meat, alcohol, tobacco, sex, and I'm missing the 5th one. So I can type that in Facebook, or if Brandy wants to Google it. And he's saying it's all auspicious. There is no pure or impure. Like, is your head gonna explode? Like, everyone, is your head gonna explode if you look at the world as there is no pure and impure things? It's just all auspicious. It's all holy. So I want you to go through this week and look at it as holy. So Colette, can I bring you up? Because I know what you're trying to do right now. Can I bring that up? Yeah, okay. Colette is smoking currently, but has tried to quit for so long. And I just want you to look at these cigarettes this week as holy. Like, try smoking them with so much awareness and intention, like what you're inhaling is holy. And I want to see what shifts for you. Yeah. Hindu Tara also says that kindness towards women should be cultivated. Actually, I think the Buddha in that story said this. And a worship of women should be practiced. Now, what that may mean, because we're the ones that create duality. But if you know anything about pussy power, or celebrating your womb space or your vulva, you know, any of that stuff, if you worship yourself in that way, like worlds open up. Like there's a reason the womb can create life, you know. It's like it's gonna, I can't even describe it. Like it's actually for me that, yeah, go ahead, Colette. Do you want me to unmute you? I'll unmute you. I can see you. Okay, there. Go ahead.
I just can't get there. I can't. I don't know why. It is. I am super pissed off at men. And I swing back and forth. Oh, I'm okay. No, I'm not. And it just, and I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure that out during the next 8 weeks of.
Yeah, I mean, challenging to, if you're feeling that way, challenging to see them as holy, right? If that's how you're feeling.
Yeah, I just, right? And it's hard because I'm raising sons, have raised sons, and
oh, you're cutting out, Colette.
I'm working on. I know my internet's shitty.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
What was that one thing you said? Because you cut out.
I said that I'm still raising one, and it's very challenging. But, and I have a male dog. Like I am surrounded by
the masculine.
The masculine, and I find it all very frustrating. I'm just like, I just want to be.
So when you connect,
I don't know how to describe it.
When you attempt to connect to your yoni, what do you, because there's no men there, what do you experience?
Like I just want to get it over with. In and out, done. I can carry on, right?
So like if you want to get it over with, how do I ask this question? If you want to just, if you're approaching your yoni as just getting it over with, why go there in the first place?
Well, that's just it. I have zero even desire.
Now,
like, and I don't know if that's hormonal. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's hormonal or if I'm just kind of rejecting the whole idea of it. I don't.
All things are holy. So if you take celibacy to the nth degree, try that on as holy. Like give yourself full permission to not connect at all. Does that make sense? And we can invite eroticism and pleasure. And I know you're Scorpio, so they typically love sex in general.
This is what doesn't make any sense to me. I'm very conflicted.
Well, we really sense. I mean, you might have you have ascendants in your chart. It may not be like your full Scorpio, but the thing is, are you lacking joy in your life?
Yeah, that's why I colored my hair purple. Totally.
Yeah. So, and if you're lacking joy in your life, this is yeah, Mary, that's right. You are Scorpio too. If you're lacking joy in your life, that is the thing, right? And it's sort of like, yes, Sarah's breaking out the sexy oils. We need to do a class, seriously. And yeah, I'm thinking of like, where can you invite the pleasure into the corners of your life? Or where can you look at the lack of pleasure as holy? Like, this is the challenge this week, is those things that we don't give ourselves permission. I had to give myself a lot of permission to not feel connected to my yoni, because there were many years that I didn't. And I had to honor that. And now I'm like hella connected, right? So it's like, let's look at all things as holy this week. Let's look at the numbness as holy. Let's look at the depression as holy. Let's look at the smoking addiction as holy. Let's look at dancing naked in the moonlight as holy as well. Like any of those things. You know what I mean? Like, let's just connect to it all as sacred and see what happens and notice those subtle shifts. So that's my invitation to you with Tara, knowing that it's all auspicious, you know? And then we'll stop trying to fit ourselves in these boxes of shoulds and shouldn'ts and why can't I get there and why can't I get here? Why can't I be this person and why can't I be that person? And let's just, like, we are holy.
Yeah, I feel very disconnected from myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
And this week, just for this week,
yeah,
see that as holy. Like, just be in the disconnect. Like, be super present with the disconnect. Make sense? I know that sounds counterintuitive. It's like going towards the pain rather than away from it.
Right.
But the trick is to go through it. You have to go through it. You have, like, acknowledging it and working through it so you can actually get to the other side. Otherwise, we're just staying where we are, right? So, and we're all in different head spaces, emotional spaces, spiritual spaces. Like, each one of us is we're just staggered a little bit, right? Kind of all over the place. So just because one is, you know, or appears to be way more connected, doesn't mean that we aren't where we're supposed to be, because we're also working through our own stuff and our own lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just accepting that part of it and saying, you know what, it's okay. Because when we say it's okay, what happens to your, like, kind of check in for a second with your body when you say it's okay to be here, like, and say that to yourself, and then see how that resonates inside of you, in your heart, right? And all of a sudden it's just like a kind of almost like you could cry, because it's just like that's what you needed to hear, right? You needed to know at that time. And then when you acknowledge that, then you can start shifting as you need to.
Yeah. And so this whole invitation this week is, can you embrace the whole of it? All of it. Yeah. So that's amazing. Okay, are you ready for the mantra? And then we're going to shift onto the floor a little bit. So funny enough, ironically, this mantra helps with addictions. Probably because it's all holy, you know. So I'm going to type it as I say it. So I'm going to unpack. We're going to unpack the mantra before we go into the meditation. But
wait, can I add one thing?
Yeah.
Saraswati, which we've done in Reiki class,
Mm-hmm.
right, is actually the white Tara in Hinduism.
Interesting. And her white swans. That makes sense. Interesting.
Which I thought was, like, super cool, because I was in Bali, and Jess and I went to the Saraswati temple, and you can't go in per se. You can just kind of walk in front and, you know, that kind of thing. But it was, like, super cool. So then when I found this out, as I was kind of reading up and researching, I was like, white Tara.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Okay, so remember that the more wrathful the goddess, the more compassionate she is. So don't fear the fierce, you know? So your sort of affirmation, I'll write this. There is nothing there is nothing I won't accept and transmute. That is Tara's message for you. There's nothing I won't accept and transmute. You can't get more compassionate than that, just saying. And so the mantra I wrote up there is Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. And Om, obviously being the primordial sound of the universe, creates all things. All things were created from that one sound. Tare, I love this. Tare is your North Star. That's the first part. It's asking, and when you do this mantra, it's asking you to point me to the highest potential that I have. Tutere means supreme joy. And then Ture means swift, like get here now. And Soha is so it is, blessed be, whatever. So I know Brandy's not going to bring her up, but I did a practice this week with my yoga teacher with orange Tara, and orange Tara heals disease. And it was a really cool meditation where we imagined orange Tara coming in and shooting laser beams at everything that was dis-ease in our body. So not necessarily diseased, but like dis-ease, uncomfortable, whatever. And then she had us imagine that we were flanked by two like bodyguard type orange Taras, which felt very protective. So just, if that's what you're feeling this week, is like you need to transmute that, you can call on orange Tara later this week if you like. But Om Tare, Tutere, Ture, Soha, will call any of them now. I think, Brandy, because I described the mudra already, I can guide you into the mudra and then you're going to start, correct, Brandy?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to relocate myself. And Brandy, sorry, did you want me playing that music through the whole thing?
I think so, yeah. We
Yeah.
can just turn it down so it's not so loud. But
Well, yeah, I'll get their ideas on how loud they want it to be. I just have to see if I can get you guys to see me. So, do I want this? Okay. Okay, am I far enough back? Maybe not.
No.
Oh, way back here. Okay.
That's super cool, Mary.
What did Mary say?
She said that every time she invokes Tara, she hears laughter.
The green one, hey? That's really cool. Okay. Ugh. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, so you're sitting, you guys can still hear me back here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're sitting cross-legged. You're gonna have the left hand touching the earth. So see, my hand is touching the earth, the right hand palm up. So this is her holding the suffering, the cries of the world. Your hand on earth, gonna break that open. So your palm is just resting on your lap. Your other hand is touching the earth. Think of that like cracking open, and all these taras are gonna fly out. And then, so once you get there, take a couple breaths, Brandy. I have to go back and get the meditation so that I can know when to chant with all of you.
We're tag teaming you guys today.
Yeah, right? And then I'm gonna move up a bit, I think, and then I'm gonna play the music with you guys. Everyone has that mudra, right? You're good? No questions? Okay. Brandy, you're ready so that I can play music?
Yep.
I found it on Spotify, Brandy, just saying.
Oh, cool.
And because I teach Reiki, I think it's at the right setting for the Reiki class, but we will see. So you guys have to tell me if you can hear me, like Brandy will be talking. Maybe Brandy, you talk in your voice to see if they can hear you over top of the music.
Okay, so can you guys hear both?
Okay. All thumbs up?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, Brandy, I'm ready.
All right. So settle into a comfortable position.
With that mudra.
With your left hand resting downward on the floor to Gaia, and your right hand resting upward on your lap. Like you're holding the world in the palm of your hand. We start by letting our minds settle resting in natural, open awareness. Breathe. Take refuge in the awakened ones and generate the supreme motivation to awaken yourself for the benefit of all sentient beings. And repeat after me. Until awakening, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Noble Sangha. By the merit of my acts of generosity and other awakening qualities, may I attain full awakening for the benefit of all beings. Now visualize everything dissolving into emptiness and openness. Feel the expansiveness. Visualize that in the sky in front of you, from her seed syllable tam, green Tara instantly appears, sitting on a full open lotus and moon seed. She is blue-green, the color of a mountain lake. She is arrayed in silks and jewels, symbolizing the 6 transcendent perfections and full awakening. Drink in her beauty and strength. Bring your attention to your heart center and radiate light from here, imagining that it purifies the phenomenal world, makes offerings to the enlightened ones, and invites Tara's actual wisdom awareness to be present with you. Visualize that this happens by numerous small forms of Tara raining down into the form that you have visualized. And think that the Tara you have imagined becomes inseparable from her actual wisdom awareness. Repeat Tara's mantra with us together.
No one can hear you, so you can be really loud and awkward if you like. Take a breath in. Full exhale. On the next inhale, we'll chant. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Tu Re, Soha. 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 Do it a few more times. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Tu Re, Soha. Om Tare.
While we're repeating her mantra, visualize, keep going.
Oh, you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Tu Tare,
Visualize that from her outstretched right hand
Soha.
comes a river of wisdom elixir, turquoise green in color. This removes all fear, gives protection, removes obstacles and obscurations, and transmits enlightened awareness to you. Feel this in the depths of your being, right in your core. Now, I want you to say your prayers to Tara. Whatever you feel you need to share or ask for help with or anything like that. And then receive her blessing. Whatever you want. Just share it with her. And we'll give you a few moments for people to do this. Now visualize Tara dissolving into light, and that light dissolving into you. See that your mind is inseparable from Tara's enlightened mind. See yourself in the form of Tara, appearing as a body made of light, emptiness, and form inseparable. In your heart area is a blue-green tam. From it, light radiates out joy, compassion, loving kindness, strength to all beings. Repeat her mantra with us again while holding the vision of blue-green tam in your heart area.
Om Tare, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha.
Om Tare, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. Om Tare, Tu Tare,
Tu Re
Soha. And one more. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. Gradually dissolve the visualization until there is just a drop of turquoise light left in your heart area, the essence of your Buddha nature. Then this dissolves into space like a rainbow disappearing into the sky. We dedicate this practice to all beings. Through this goodness, may awakening spontaneously arise in all our streams of being. May all obscurations and distortions fall away. May all beings be liberated from suffering and the stormy waves of birth, sickness, old age, and death. Rest your mind naturally for a few moments, just breathing in and out and feeling the shift in your body and in your mind. Allow this to integrate. Now bring your awareness to your body, becoming aware of sitting on the floor or on your chair. Slowly stretching your body, rocking your neck back and forth a few times, wiggling your fingers and toes, and slowly opening your eyes to join us back here in this moment.
If you could just type a word in the chat box for sort of what you're feeling now. If you can put a language on it. Mary says grateful. Yeah. Megan says gratitude as well. Cool. Content. Ooh, that's a good word, Colette. Very good word. I feel that too, Brandy. Expansive peace. I'm gonna have to go watch the replay myself, hopefully, so that I can experience that without having to pay attention.
Me too.
Right? So does anyone have any questions before we part ways into this beautiful Tara frequency of the week where everything is holy? Oh, Glazelle, there's your face. Yay.
Always nice to put a face to the name.
Right? Did you want to say, hang on, Glazelle, I'm just trying to unmute you. It's not letting me. Oh, there you go. All right, did you want to say anything? I heard you talking, but not literally hearing you.
Oh, I just said that. Okay.
Oh, hang on, you cut out for a second. What was that? I missed it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I just said I'm new to Zoom, so I don't really like. I'm trying to figure out how to work it. So I'm like, okay.
Right? So how do you feel? Like, even if you're like, where's the chat box, you know?
Right. I was like, actually expansive. That was beautiful.
Ooh, awesome.
That
That's
was
wonderful.
beautiful.
Well, we are so happy you're here, and thank you for jumping on board. And yeah, this is really exciting.
Thank you.
Oh,
That was
yeah, Mary,
beautiful.
you're doing the dual goddess thing.
Oh yeah.
Geez, who would go with green tar? Um, how do you want to feel this week, Mary? Let's start there. Oh, that's so cool, Megan. Megan says that she felt connected to Taylor. Do you mean like more now than you have before, Megan? Is that what you mean? Oh, 3-week divine masculine activation. Okay. Oh yeah. So Taylor's Megan's sister. So both my sister-in-laws and Taylor passed away a few years ago now? 2 years? A few years? I'm so confused when time is sometimes relevant to me. 3 years. That's what I thought. Okay. And she said she hasn't had any form of connection to Taylor until now. So how freaking profound is
Wow.
that?
That's super cool.
Isn't that wild? So Mary, okay, divine masculine, super intense, green Tara. Like, the thing is, I have no real gentle goddesses to pick from. But you said Isis. Like, have you done the Isis one yet? You said you watched it, but did you?
I work with Isis every single day, so
Okay, so we're good with Isis, and you did Mary Magdalene last week with okay. So you're left with Sekhmet and Hecate. So do you want to burn stuff that's no longer serving you, or do you want to go deep into the underworld?
burn stuff that's no longer serving me. That sounds about right. So which one is that? Is that Hecate?
Sekhmet, then, yeah.
That's Sekhmet. Okay, Sekhmet. Thank you.
I think you did Saraswati too.
No,
No?
I haven't done any Hindu goddesses until sort of today.
Okay.
You're getting it confused with goddess Reiki, but
No, it was mythology. It's April 18th, Saraswati throat. Okay, I guess it is. Yeah,
no,
the other one.
Yeah, it's Reiki.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah.
Okay, my loves. I'm speaking on Brandy and I's behalf that we are sending so much love and a trillion, bazillion, gazillion taras your way, and let her infiltrate every cell of your body. Use the mantra again, touch the earth, and envision it cracking open so that you can release all those infinitesimal taras into your beingness. So everything is holy, accept all parts of yourself. If you have acceptance oil, which I don't, use it, all of that kind of thing. Cool?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love you all so much.
Thank you for all joining.
Yes. And we'll see how next week goes. Please also write in the Facebook group about if you still have Tiamat letters to post, and like how you're experiencing the holiness of all of it this week. Okay. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the flowers.
Long weekend.
Yes. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.